Enterprise Weekend. It is from our headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria. I am Henry Igwebike.
And I'm Chinyere Igweodu.
In a bit, we'll be moving on to our news headlines today to see what we have from our dailies. And right after that will be a main conversation also for today. So while we get everything all sorted out for you, please do well to visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com. Like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. With us today in the studios to do justice to all we have on our national dailies today is Cyril Abaku. He is a journalist and a public affairs commentator. Good morning to you and happy weekend.
Thank you.
Good morning, Cyril.
I'm glad to be here.
Great to have you.
Yes.
All right, so quickly, Jimmy, let's start off with our Daily Trust, isn't it?
Yeah, Daily Trust.
Okay, good. So the big story here says bandits kill 30 farmers, Islamic cleric in Zamfara. And the rider here says 2 herders, 150 cattle killed in fresh plateau attack.
And then the sub-rider, gunmen abduct 9 students from Kogi University.
Yes, and also on the top strip of the same newspaper, we have countless ad hoc committees in NAS despite 224 standing ones.
And also on the Daily Trust, darkness, chaotic traffic pervade Abuja over malfunctioning street lights.
Yes, and we have Naira and the Forex again, and it has that Naira drops from best to worst performing currency. And that's a report we have on the Daily Trust newspaper today.
Still on the Daily Trust, we have Yaya Bello agrees to appear in court for arraignment June 30.
All right, I think let's move on to our analysis for today. And I'd love you to speak on, Ms. Cyril Abaku, I'd love you to speak on another fresh attack. Bandits kill 30 farmers, Islamic cleric in Zamfara, but particularly on the issue of 2 herders, 150 cattle killed in fresh plateau attack. I guess that should be a reprisal attack.
But let's begin from Zamfara.
Okay.
I wonder why, at a time of all times when food scarcity is still a major problem, people are deliberately targeting farmers, which means they want farming to be on the decline even more, so that food security becomes more and more a problem, so that the economy remains comatose. When you create a general climate of fear and government is not able to upturn it, then clearly the state has been taken over by terrorists, and that's where we are. We have to be worried, very worried, because these governors, I think Zamfara governor was among the ones that went to America to go and learn how to govern their states. In Washington, they went to be schooled on how to govern their states. But for me, everything is still local. It is local. The problems are local. The solutions will also be local. So I don't understand why 30 farmers, that's a humongous number. Arguably 30 farms, maybe more, maybe hundreds of farms, because one farmer could have up to 3, 4, 5 farms, or even more.
Hectares of land.
Acres of land. And then you look at agriculture and the entire value chain, processing and industry and everything, just gone like that in one day. And we are not, this has not called for national mourning. I've now the presidency issue a statement. It happens on Thursday. And it has, the way we see it is normal. It happened. It happened. It's just another thing that happened. Farmers can't go to their farms. Students can't go to school. And we think all is well. What kind of governance are the governors providing in those states? Farmers that can go to farms in Kaduna, they told them before you can access your harvest, pay us a levy, pay us levies, pay us taxes. I thought tax was part of the prerogative of state, apart from the monopoly of violence. Taxes, levies, are also the monopoly of government. Clearly, so these are governments within the state. These are places where people have successfully come to assert themselves and they say they are the ones who are in charge and there's nothing anybody can do about it. So tomorrow when the matter gets worse, we should not be asking ourselves, how come? This is how it came from. In Zamfara, of all places, we went from Jengebe, when Father Kuka said that Nigeria turned into a killing field. They came out, but even Father Kuka didn't have to say it. It was clear. When they beheaded them, put their necks on the spikes and said, in a country that is not at war, people can kill free. And oftentimes, let me say this, a lot of times, these killings take place, you won't hear anything until village people call journalists, who now call the police, who now confirm. You read the story, you see it's not as if the police people came out and said, okay, this sort of thing has happened, I'm investigating. It is after this happened, people now call police, either not pick their calls, will deny or will confirm. Does that look like we're on the front foot? I thought that when you're on the front foot, you're the one who come out with the statement, come out with the stories, come out. Now, this happened on Thursday. When did the president come back to the country? The president was away for 10 days. Nobody knew his whereabouts. Nobody knew where he went. Nobody knew what he was doing. They said that they even said he didn't, that it was on held ground. So where was he? From the Netherlands to Saudi Arabia, and then to where? And then back to Nigeria. We even heard that his airplane was bad on the road. No accountability. If even the president can lead like that, is it the governor that should not break his head over what? I'm a pragmatist. I don't believe in. Sometimes we have to bend over backwards to let. But there are some things you tackle them head on. It was this same government that was accused of trying to bring in the U.S. Army base into the country. U.S. military base or French military that was taken away from Nigeria. Now, I, for one, am neither for nor against the military base coming to Nigeria, because every country must calibrate its strategic military interests. You will have partnerships, okay? A lot of countries have joint partnerships with America, with Britain, and so on. So you look at what works for you. When you have military partnership with Japan, America, Israel, what is it for? Training, armed supplies, and so on. So at what point does the partnership now require them to come and put a military base? If the argument is good, so be it. But are you aware that northern people wrote a letter to the president and said they don't want it in? And people like Atairu Jega, Rafsanjani, we all signed that letter. Now the president came out to say, it's not true. We don't plan to site a military base in the north. But I'm even asking, so if in the country, but if a military base were to come to Nigeria, and this is just speaking without being for or against. But if a base were to be brought to Nigeria and sited in the north, if it has the promise of ending insecurity, I thought people would welcome it. So when we blame government, you also look at leaders of thought and statesmen in the north. Are they really? Do we look like we are?
They're really sincere.
We are working towards the answer. Because there are people in the social space who have a question for every answer. I thought that they should have come to say, okay, Mr. President, is this what you want to do? In our opinion, they are not governors. They are not elected. But I think the president, to understanding that he might have been doing a lot of things that they're not as frowning about, knows that he would rather make more friends than more enemies. So what will he do? He will remove, if fighting insecurity will offend some people, what do you think he should be doing now? He says, hey, you know what? Let them. You know when Jonathan was there, he had the same problem. He heard Jirika was defeating Boko Haram. He was putting later they came and said, Mr. President, you need to withdraw this man. He will do things that will take you to the criminal court in The Hague. He's not. He heard Jirika was taking back. What happened today? That's how we came to where we are today. A former president, before he became president, Buhari said that fighting Boko Haram is fighting the North. Are we not aware of all these things? We should not be pretending. There was another one that said that that they'll make the country ungovernable. So when the baby cries in the night, how do they put it? When somebody cries in the night and there's a tragedy in the morning, don't you know better than to know where it's coming from?
All right. Thank you so much, sir. I mean, we can go on and on talking about insecurity, and it's a sorry state, really. From what you said, I think there's more to this than meets the eyes. We just, our heart goes out to those families who are involved, and we just hope that this does not deepen the crisis we already see on in terms of food security.
Definitely,
yes.
True.
All right, so let's move straight to the nation and see what we have here. The big story here on the nation this morning, we have Rivers crisis deepens as police takes over assembly quarters. The rider here says court restrains 27 lawmakers from sitting, acting as legislators the sub-rider, Fubara Gazette order relocating assembly to government house. And we also have, for this story, governor's action and utterances fueling impeachment moves. And this is credited to the APC.
Yes, exactly. And from the top of the Nation newspaper, top strip that is, we have EFCC urges embassies not to charge visa or the services in dollars.
Also on the top strip, we have arrest warrant. Court orders Yaya Bello to appear, says ex-governor must appear even if warrant was illegally obtained.
Yes, and exactly. And we have on the bottom strip of the same newspaper, manhunt for abductors of 9 Kogi University students.
Okay, so let's stay on the big story.
Yes, please.
Rivers crisis deepens as police takes over assembly quarters. I like how you interpreted this as a legal jambalaya. You said that yesterday. But we see that Fubara is taking the lead, so to speak. He's not as weak as some people would think that he is.
No.
What do you think?
So I think he has gone from the back foot to the front foot.
Okay.
Well, I said on radio earlier this morning that I am choosing not to have a dog in the fight. I'm choosing not to pick sides. But the truth is the truth. Now, anybody looking at the Nation newspaper this morning knows that even the editors selectively picked a picture to pick the governor in a bad light. It is there, you can see it. They selected a picture in which he was wearing sunglasses. Governor Fubara doesn't wear sunglasses all the time. If you check he's always very plain, simple. So I don't know why they chose to pick the picture of somebody looking like Moshe Dayan in the first place, right? But that is by the way. The second issue is, well, if you say the crisis is deepening, I don't know for that. Maybe that's in their own assessment of what's going on. But clearly, the truth of the matter is that, one, Mr. President's political solution has failed. Clearly, it has failed in Rivers State. Number two is the fact that the governor is not subservient to the president. In America, where we borrowed our government system from, right, the presidential system of government, in the Oval Office, you have the carpet in the office just before the resolute desk. That's the president's desk, right? You have the coat of arms. Underneath, they write E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. What does it mean? The president is the first among equals. The equals are the governors. Because in a federation, it is the parts that come together to form a whole and award powers to the whole to supervise certain issues. But the real power does not rest with the center. It rests with those who give the power to the center, who are the federating units. The governor is a leader of a federating unit, which means he has enormous powers. The president was wrong to have preferred that solution, which the solution has even spattered the constitution. It is clear now. So why has it failed? It has failed because if we had implemented the law, those lawmakers that affected now would have left the house by now. So that way, we wouldn't have had this conundrum of today, one step forward, two steps back. Because when we left them there, they are not trying to cause problems for the governor, cause problems for the state, people that they, by law, are no longer members of the House of Assembly. If you say the crisis is deepening, I think you should drive by way of the law, unless whether in the eyes of the law, the crisis is deepening. Now people know that they are losing out and are not trying to fight back as sore losers. You see where I'm going with this? So, as far as I'm concerned, the House now came down to just 4 men. Later on, Edison here resigned. It came down to how many men?
3
men, as far as I see it. So why hasn't INEC declared those seats vacant? Is INEC a party to the crisis?
So I'm trying so hard not to give some follow-up questions, but there's an argument around those lawmakers who defected to the APC on pictures that they have not followed due process, and the APC in Rivers State is saying that they don't. They are not part of them.
Well, because even the APC has factions, right? But Tony Okocha, who is the caretaker chairman of the APC in Rivers State, was the one who was even ordering the lawmakers. You see, this is the problem. How can it be that a party chairman is the one giving command to assembly lawmakers, okay, to impeach a governor? That's like the assistant governor speaking. All right. So, but what must happen is that those lawmakers, now that a court of law said they should not sit anymore and that they should not be as lawmakers, let us see what they do.
But do you fear of an impending bloodbath, or do you see an impending bloodbath?
No. The way I look at it is this, Chinyere. I'll preface my answer with a caveat. It is that I like to think that I understand to a good extent the rules of politics, but I wouldn't apply them because I have a very strong moral side to me. So I would not apply them. But I think that somebody has said that road of violence, he's not afraid of treading on it. Now the other party has said, if that's where I want us to meet, let us meet there. Should I tell you what the consequence will be?
Tell me.
The consequence is what the consequence will be. Okay. So, but we pray that it doesn't come to that. I think that those who know better should apply caution and reason and pull back.
Okay. Henry.
Wow. That's a big one, actually.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So let's move on to the Vanguard newspaper for today. It's our last daily. And on the Vanguard newspaper, we have the big story there. Governor Obaseki explodes. We cannot secure Nigeria from the center anymore. And let's redesign the country, or vows not to run for president or any elective office under the present structure.
Right on the Vanguard today, on the top strip, we have Okwamaiwu. Returnee villagers collapse, fall sick on sighting destroyed homes.
Yes, and the court sacks the 25 APC lawmakers from Rivers Assembly. And what else?
That's about
it. Yeah. All right. So, Mr. Baku, let's talk about the issue of the statement from Governor Obaseki. Of course, we've been on and on and on with this issue of the structure on which Nigeria,
I spoke to it earlier, yes.
Yes, is existing right about now. But do you think having this come on again and again from Obaseki, who has revealed so much about the way Nigeria is run, do you think there's something that we really need to take home from some of these submissions?
No, so even he, as a governor, is only a few months left, has only a few months left in office. I don't know if by way of debate or literature or the lawmakers from Edo State, whether he was instrumental, right, to telling them to sponsor certain bills, to right some of the wrongs that he's talking about now. If he didn't do that, because that's the only way you can change things, right? So if he was not encouraging lawmakers from Edo State to sponsor bills to change things, then he's not different from a commentator, really. But that is by the way. Now, what he said the word was design. He said Nigeria needs to be redesigned.
Yes.
I completely agree with him. There are two arguments. Abafemi Awolowo used to say that we should cut the country along linguistic affinity. That is, as many people that speak a common language should find themselves in the same enclave. You know, in the Bible, there was a place in Genesis chapter 6 where they are building the Tower of Babel. Because they spoke one language, they were able to build. But God came and scattered them according to the Bible account, right? So that's believing that language is a tool for progress. That's one. There's another argument which I sort of pursue to an extent, that we should form the sub-federal units along economic viability lines. You know, we're all in Lagos. We don't. Your garment maker can be Igbo. Your shoe shiner can be Warri. You don't care. You don't really. Exactly. All of us are here, ostensibly because of our bellies. It's a very superficial argument, but we're all here apparently because of business and commerce to make ends meet, right? So, if that is a possibility, then such a creation of states along economic lines of economic viability has perhaps capacity to douse tribal and ethnic tensions and make us work towards a common goal, which is more like our instinct for survival, more than it will be for tribalism. So that even when you want to do elections, you vote for the man that you know will have the ability to deliver the goods more than you want to vote for somebody who speaks the same language. These are arguments, but I mean, we can sit down and say, okay, how do we want to redesign this country? I, for one, I'm a stickler for the fact that we don't even need this one we are doing presidential government. What we need is parliament with the prime minister. Okay, so we can sit down and have this. But Obaseki said he won't even run for president, given the current way Nigeria is occasion. Sometimes President Tinubu, with all the hiccups, we see hiccups now, the bombs, or sometimes it's as if he put it on himself. But there are also the other things he can't do because he dare not. Really. Okay, so the matter is quite broad, but it is up to the president. This president was the one who used to say Nigeria should go back to fiscal federalism. Now he is there. We expect a lot from him. I hope that he finds the time and opportunity and puts in the effort to make sure that we go back to where we were maybe in 1960.
All right.
It's about the time we have for our newspaper reviews today. I'd love to say thank you to Cyril Abaku for being part of our show today.
My pleasure.
Thank you, and please would oblige you if you may hang around so we can pick our next segment.
That's fine.
When we return, press freedom and civic space on tenterhooks. That's a big question. We'll have details in a moment.